Hello YouTubers, I thought I'd do a quick video, a little more Citizens Band related. I haven't done one in a while. I've basically been doing general coverage receivers of late, but this is the other seeker I mentioned in the little seeker modulator 6BQ5 video. I mentioned I had another one of these that had an 8417, which this one seems to be a little bit more common. I've got the screws out the top so I can show you. But it has an 8417. For what I understand, I think you can substitute a 6L6 GT in place. The power output is definitely going to be less. Let's see if I can. I've got the camera on the tripod, so I really don't know if I can get up there to show you the 8417 number. You just have to take my word for it. But this one works the same way as the 6BQ5 one I showed in previous video, just a little better output. It's set up the same way. Other than I bought this from a friend of mine last year, who got this from another friend of mine. This one really ain't changed hands a lot, but you know it's two of my buddies have owned this one previously before I ended up with it, and the friend I bought it from, he didn't like the meter setup. These seekers are not like the Black Cats in that the meter on the Black Cats is a relative field strength setup. I mean, there's just, you know, basically the leads coming off the back of that meter on the front. I think there's like a choker resistor on one side and there's bare lead, and I think they solder together and just hang in there up close to the final tank circuit. And, you know, they just read relative field strength. Well, these seekers actually, you know, have an RF sampling little circuit, you know, so they'll read your radio output even in standby. Well, he didn't like that and wanted this one, you know, made before I ended up buying it, and he was still using it. He wanted it to be like the Black Cats, so I converted it, you know, changed the meter, just a relative field strength little setup. And after I bought it, I've never changed it back, so it's still like that. Eventually, someday, I'll put it back to original. And it's a little dusty. It's been sitting around. I actually haven't used this. Well, I haven't used either one of the seekers in quite a while. I've been basically doing mostly sideband of late. But this one has got the pilot bulb is the more traditional, I guess, seen on the seekers. A little bit more of its original labeling is left. I think on the back there's a label underneath the SO239s, but it's worn dim. Somebody's used their you know, labeler on the front controls and on the rear SO239 controls as well. Anyways, I'm just going to show you this little dude real quick. I got it in standby. I'm going to take camera off the tripod to show you this. Same push buttons. Well, actually, let me put it back on standby. I'm doing this video a little different. I did not want to clear a spot for it. I'm just using my Courier Centurion stock radio. It's never been tuned. Palstar JB150 meter. Okay, it's the left scale, and it'd be the left needle. I'm on 300 watt scale. So 10 is 10 watts, 50 is 50 watts, 100 is 100 watts. It goes up to 300. We won't be getting anywhere near that. This is just the radio. About 14 watts or so. About a 4.5 watt carrier. Just barely above, under 5 watts. You can almost call it a 5 watt carrier. Okay. Now, see the meters going up on the seeker. About 11 watts. A little over 100. I'd call it's almost 105 watts. That's about what it does. Tuning controls, the same deal. It's just that single. It's just the single slugged coil in the back that you basically, all it does is set the carrier. And one thing I've noticed, this is the same way as the 6BQ5. If you made it to a tube radio and then later switched to a transistor radio, The tuning slug in the back will have to be completely readjusted, and there's just no matching. There's a big difference there about mating, you know, these little modulators like this with a tube radio or transistor radio. But anyways, that's what she does. She's a little over 100 watts, the standard radio. If you put a little hotter radio in front of it, it might get 120 or a little better. But I mean, these were made for lower power radios, anywhere from, you know, 8 to 16 watts is what they were designed for, you know, for peak input. And that's basically, that is all I run in front of it. And 8417s are expensive and hard to come by anymore. And, you know, you really don't, if I had one of these, I mean, I really recommend you don't stress these, you know. I don't stress mine. I keep low power radios in front of it. I've not tried. I've got a 6L6. It's got the locator broken out of the bottom. I think I'm gonna try it in here. I think I've looked at the pinout, and the pinout is the same. I know the wattage is going to be different. Plate dissipation's not the same between the two tubes. But I'm kind of curious at how much lower it would be at the 6L6, and if a 6L6 would hold up. And the one I've got checks good, but with the locator busted out of the bottom of the octal socket, it's not a valuable tube, so it really wouldn't hurt my feelings. You know, if it didn't work out and it toasted it, I'm not really out anything. So I might try that someday, and might even make a video of it just out of curiosity. Anyways, there you have it. 8417 6BQ5 Seeker. A lot like the Wawasee Black Cats, but there are some differences. 73s, everybody. 262 Operator Paul signing off.